How much do you weigh? Not you personally, all of you. Yes, every single person alive today. Let's put the entire human population on the weighing scales. The world's population passed 7 billion on March the 12th, 2012, according to the United States Census Bureau, while this event happened several months earlier, on October 31st, 2011, according to the United Nations Population Fund. But what about our total weight? Remember that while many of us are overweight, the world is full of children that are not. It varies upon where you're born. In the red areas, you're likely to be underweight. Bad Dave. Smil, whose figures I use, makes 4 separate estimates for different areas of the world and suggests a 50 kilogram average. His total weight for everyone is 300 million metric tons. A metric ton is 1,000 kilograms. But that is only for 6.1 billion, the number living in 2002. Updated for 7 billion, that is 350 million tons. What is 350 million tons? It is the equivalent to 58 Great Pyramids of Giza, or 7,200 Titanics, which is a number far too big to illustrate here, but if each was put bow to stern, they would stretch 1,940 kilometres, or the distance the Titanic sailed in the first 2 days of its maiden voyage. Einstein, using his energy-mass equation, would have noted it is the mass the sun turns into energy every minute and 20 seconds. But that is too abstract. Let us get real. What about us and the rest of nature? What do we weigh compared to all the wild land vertebrates? Yes, all of these. Put them on the scales and it's a 14th. No, not we are a 14th, they are a 14th of us. What about wild animals in the oceans? As they cover 70% of the surface of the Earth and do not have such inhospitable places for life such as this and this, they indeed contain more biomass. The weight alone of all the whales living today at 40 million tons, but that is a small figure. Before whaling, it was 7 times that at 280 million tons. And the seas contain one single species that challenges us for weight, Arctic krill, which tops us at 380 million tons. There are of course other vertebrates than whales in the sea, fish, and they as a group top us with a mass somewhere in between 800 and 2,000 million tons. Humans of course do not leave them alone, and we catch, if we include illegal netting and that thrown away, 120 million tons of them each year. One group has been left out, domesticated animals. There are 1.65 billion cattle and water buffalo, 1.75 billion sheep and goats, 900 million pigs. There are also 50 billion chickens, though at any time only half that number are alive. They weigh in at 700 million tons and provide 300 million tons of meat, 700 million tons of milk, and 1,000 billion eggs. So we dominate wild nature if you combine the weight of our domesticated animals, what we catch from the seas, and ourselves. We could be tops. Well, nearly. The global harvest of agriculture, and this includes waste and animal feed, adds more and comes to 7.6 billion tons of dried matter. We can also add the harvest of wood, including that abandoned during forestry, another 8 billion tons. And to that we can add what was once alive and buried and now is extracted as coal, oil and gas, and there's another 8 billion tons. Does this top nature? No. It is still only about a quarter of what all land plants create through photosynthesis. Fungi also dwarf us. Though hidden away in soil and rotting matter, their mycelium fibres weighing at 15 to 30 billion tons. Then there are all the single-celled life forms, which in terms of just dry weight push the scales down at 54 to 250 billion tons. But this is only the situation today. When we first evolved and lived as hunter-gatherers of wild plants and animals, the human population is estimated to have been only at 10,000 to 20,000 people, and so a mass of 500 to 1,000 tons, the weight of nearly 3 or 6 blue whales. Even a century ago, when Teddy Theodore Roosevelt was doing his best to eliminate African wildlife, the mass of wild land mammals was at least as large as that of humans. But since then, not only have humans eliminated much of nature and grown more numerous in number, but we've also become much heavier. And it could get worse. If the world's population gained the same percentage of heavy people as in North America, the weight of the world's population, even without adding an additional individual, would increase by a 6, nearly 60 million tons. And as a result, we would outweigh the single species that still tops us for weight, Arctic krill. And what of the future? The Population Division of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs foresees more humans. Its low prediction suggests another billion by 2035, or on its middle prediction by 2025. And if things go bad, in its high prediction by 2022. Can the world support all these additional people? This paper in Science argues it's not whether, but when humans will reach the limit of what it calls the net primary plant production, NPP, the ability of the planet to support life. That will happen within decades. So, are we doomed? The Club of Rome in 1972 published a report, Limits to Growth, that predicted the world will run out of gold in 1981, petroleum by 1992, and copper by 1993. That did not happen. A century ago, Teddy Theodore Roosevelt could not have imagined YouTube and the possibility of you looking at this video. The events in the next 100 years will be equally surprising and unpredictable. maybe the human species will continue just okay. But then maybe the limits to growth report might have been only mistaken in when and not in if.